Stugotz made me laugh as soon as the microphones went off because he just snorted toward Greg Cody. You were right, Cody. There were a lot of laughs in that one. That was a fun segment with Congressman Maxwell Frost. And then the next thing that he says to Greg Cody, and he said it with sort of delight, the same sort of delight that he once said, "Hey, Mike, Marty Shottenheimer died." He says to Greg Cody, "Hey, Greg, a 114-year-old marathoner just died." And then there's this silence, and he's like, "Hit by a car." And then Greg Cody goes, "I saw that." And then they started talking excitedly about the great misfortune of staying healthy for 114 years, healthy enough to jog, and then getting hit by a car.
He's the world's oldest marathon runner. He's 114. Fauja Singh, the turban torpedo. I mean, this guy deserves a better fate. He was just out for a little stroll, a little jog, Dan. That's what he's done the last 100 years of his life.
I legitimately can't believe that there's such a thing as a 114-year-old jogger.
It was a hit and run, and I suspect that his 112-year-old rival is probably the guy who hit him and ran.
Let's play the sound that we got from ESPN of Stugotz excitedly telling Mike that Marty Schottenheimer had died.
Marty Schottenheimer passed away.
Just sort of bored,
know what happened there.
Just sort of bored and belching. Ron, you've waited long enough. Thank you for waiting so long here. Apologies for keeping you waiting so long. We talked last week about the majesty of the Everglades, but coming off of the segment that you just had to endure there, the end of which, people can't live in the Everglades. Like, that's not a place where human beings can live reasonably, is it?
It's a place they can live if that's been their home for many years. Like, you know, the Miccosukee, the Seminoles, that is their home. They've lived off that land. They've proven you can. But when you haven't been used to it, no, absolutely not. You won't survive. So, listen, that was a great segment. I got a lot of respect for that congressman. A lot of respect. One of the few politicians I've enjoyed listening to.
It is a little hotter now, but you're in luck. The state's attorney general just made a sweeping order yesterday that we can no longer genetically modify the weather. We can't do that anymore. This is true. You can look this up. The state attorney general sent a memo to all the airports. Hey, stop manipulating the weather. So that's going to be great news for you and your hurricane prep.
He was sending that memo to me and Stugotz, right?
Unbelievable.
Ron, let's play some videos here for Ron McGill. And Greg Cody's had a question for 2 weeks. So before, because we went on.
What the hell? First of all, I haven't seen Cody in a couple of weeks. What is that on his lip?
I'm trying to grow a Ron McGill-styled mustache, but right now it needs to fill in a little bit.
A little bit? You look like Pepe Le Pew. What is that?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Greg Cody has had a question, though, for 2 weeks. And last week he was lamenting, hey, you kept going to those videos, and I had something to ask. And so he's been sitting on this for a couple of weeks. And let's do it. Let's do it before the videos this week so I don't get reprimanded.
Okay, this is a very quick question, Ron. And this is actually something that I heard on the Greg Cody Show podcast presented as a fact, and one of my favorite podcasts,
Jack.
by the way. And here's the fact. You tell me if it's true.
Jack.
A full-grown giraffe has a heart that is 2 feet long and weighs 25 pounds more than a car tire.
25 pounds more than a car tire? A tire without a rim, just a tire, no air?
Yeah.
No rim.
Yeah, it probably could. Absolutely. A lot of water weight in there, too. Keep in mind.
Okay.
Greg, we're all in agreement. This is a good look for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got what the kids say.
You look great.
Aura. I think this should be a part of your aesthetic going forward.
You look
like a film director.
Far more distinguished, more creative. Nobody would guess that your feet look the way they do.
Yeah,
you look comfortable in your own skin. This is the look of someone like, I know what I put out there. This is a hard lean in from one Greg Cody.
Will my wife buy all of this adulation?
Oh, jeez. Come on. Take that off the screen, please, guys.
His feet for the audio.
The devil's feet
yes. Those
right
aren't
there.
even human feet.
Let's play some videos here. Now, Ron McGill has told us before that he doesn't know that much about the insects, but he has told us that the bee is interesting. Can you explain to me what's happening in this video where we've got a queen is mating, but then there's a praying situation?
Well, yeah, that's obviously a spider is going in on whatever is mating. I don't know if that's necessarily I'm assuming it's a queen, I guess. I don't know. Queens aren't usually out on their own like that, unless it's a different type of bee. That looks like a bumblebee type of insect.
Okay, but
there,
what's the spider doing? The spider is attacking during sex?
Yeah, sure. That's a good vulnerable time to get them.
Are we sure this isn't birth? Not that I would know.
Oh,
I'm
it's
pretty
not
sure.
birth.
Look
It's
how
not
big
birth.
that thing is.
It's
There's
not
no way that
birth.
was inside the other insect.
It's
Well,
not.
it
It's
was,
not.
but
It's
not
not birth, guys. It's not birth. And the spider, is probably capitalizing on a vulnerable position, so to speak, because that bee that's being predated on there probably didn't have anything on its mind except for one thing, and was quite vulnerable because it wasn't paying attention to its surroundings.
Something I see a great deal in South Florida. Weirdly, I saw it a lot on 441 past those old radio stations where we used to work at. The bird flight coordination. Can you explain to me the where and why this happens, the way that it happens, and what is happening here with what is called, I guess it's murmuration? What is murmuration?
Birds synchronize their flight as part of a defense mechanism. It's the same thing you see it in fish, except it's in the air. If you watch a school of fish, watch a shark go in there or a sea lion go into a big school of fish, basically they form this confusing dance, so to speak, which basically blends them all in with each other so the predator cannot focus on one animal. It's the same thing in a lesser scale of like when a lion is going after a herd of zebra. All the zebra run together and all the stripes blend together. It confuses the predator, and it's harder for that predator to concentrate on a single animal. More often than not, it doesn't work out for the zebra, but the safety is in numbers here at these animals. And they know if they stay synchronized like that, again, it's very difficult to pick one out against the other to be predated on.
I can't believe there's not one bird in this mix that like missed rehearsal.
Right.
It's like flapping around.
How do
and
they
you're
do
like,
this?
This
I
bird
mean-
doesn't know what everyone else is doing.
Right.
It's an instinct that is a split-second reaction to the bird next to them, and it's something that they do for survival. Let me tell you something, guys. If it meant life or death for you, you'd be surprised what you could master.
Ron, I might have a problem in my home. A few months ago, I noticed an owl living in my fishtail ponds. I didn't know if he was just visiting, but then 2 weeks ago, I saw a rodent that was on the ground, and I don't have rats in my home. It looked like this was predation. And this morning when I was taking my dog out, I saw this very big bird fly away from my fishtail palms. If I were ever to consider maybe getting a puppy, is this a hazard I should consider because I've got this owl now in my fishtail palms?
No. An owl, generally speaking, unless you're going to get a puppy like Chihuahua, I wouldn't put a little puppy Chihuahua out there, but a general puppy of, that's already a good, I wouldn't put a puppy out in the yard by itself unless it's at least 3 months old to begin with. And any puppy of any reasonable size is not going to be predated by any owl. The only owl in Florida that would even consider predating on an animal that size would be a great horned owl. I doubt that's what you have in your yard. You probably have, I don't know.
Your standard owl?
Now, little screech owls, you might have a barred owl, but these animals, generally speaking, the great horned owl is the king of owls here in Florida as far as going after larger prey. I doubt you have that in your yard. I don't know exactly where you live, Mike, but not likely.
Well,
most puppies are not going to be a threat.
By Hungry Bear.
Big Boy told us the funny story of a teacup Maltese named Halib Berry that he let out of the house and then watched a bird of prey take it away. Carrie Champion asked him about this without knowing that Halib Berry had perished.
So let's talk about bad or bougie. Some of my producers told me to explain this to the audience. So how would you, shout out to Migos, how would you explain bad and bougie?
I guess, having an attitude and a certain confidence about yourself where you just don't just deal with anybody. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you got to be a super raw dog and so fresh, so clean at all times.
You got a dog named Halib Berry. Is she bad or is she bougie?
She's dead.
Oh. No!
Yeah.
I did not know that. That is awful.
I know,
my producers
she's
didn't know that. I feel awful. I'm sorry.
She's dead.
And not just dead in the most horrific manner where you have a pet and then a bird of prey comes from the wild and just takes it away.
Again, what is that? Some teacup thing you said?
Yes.
It's like I said, a baby Chihuahua.
It could happen to Jumpin' Charlie. Let's play another video here for Ron McGill. Is the panda clumsy? Is there such a thing as a clumsy animal? Not just an individual, but a breed, a species of animals more likely to be clumsy than the average clumsy?
Bears aren't the most agile animals in the world. And pandas, of course, sometimes underestimate their weight when they climb and they fall and things like this. So they've been known to fall quite a bit. Animals are adapted to their environment, but sometimes their environment is not as much adapted to them. And yeah, pandas often make the mistake of underestimating their weight, and the props that they're hoping will sustain their weight.
I don't mean to be stubborn about this, but is there a clumsy animal? Like, would there be one? You would dismiss bears as clumsy.
No, I wouldn't dismiss bears as clumsy. I would dismiss, generally speaking, all young animals are clumsy, just like young people are. They tend to be clumsy. But animals adapt to their environment, and they could be clumsy in certain environments. You know, if I were going to put a sea lion on the beach, it looks very clumsy as it's trying to move around on the beach. Put a sea lion in the water, and it's, unbelievable. So depending on the environment it's in, animals are not, generally speaking, clumsy in the environment that they live in. That's a general term. They've adapted to survive that way. A clumsy animal usually will not survive in its environment in the wild.
Ron, it's good seeing you. Thank you for making the time for us, as always, sir.
Always a pleasure, guys. Have a good week. Love the stash. Really love that stash, Cody.
Thank you, Ron.
Cody getting a lot of compliments on this ridiculous mustache. And given what I have done over the course of the last 45 minutes here with both topic choices and what we've done conversationally, I want right now to offer all of you guys a bit of a treat here, okay? A bit of a July treat, just to feed you guys the way that you would feed sea lions, little, baby fish. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Off-season NFL report cards.
Wow.
By Seth Walden.
Oh, boy.
He's only given 4 A's.
Really?
4 off-season A's. Do any of you want to choose?
That's an all-time low.
Keenan Allen's a free agent. Amari Cooper's a free agent. Do any of you want Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz is a free agent. Do any of you want Gabe Davis? Gabe Davis is a free agent. Anybody interested in
I want to guess the A's.
Jeremy was
Go Knights.
Jeremy was very excited.
I was very excited to hop in there.
Weirdly excited on Gabe Davis. I would have thought Keenan Allen might have lured someone out with that kind of enthusiasm. Nope.
I'm also going to get bullied for the things I normally get bullied for the way I reacted to that.
It was Gabe Davis.
Yeah, it was strange to see you react that way. But are we now with Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen in the 1 year, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones stage of their career? Or are we already at the
Julio Jones for sure, yes.
No, but I'm asking you
depends.
Keenan Allen, I think of as an immensely useful wide receiver in Chicago with the Chargers. I would want him on my team.
He was so good.
I don't think he's a guardable human being. And I'd want him on my football team as a number 1 wide receiver.
He's a ball winner, and he's not guardable in that because he's never really relied on his physical traits. He just a lot like Anquan Boldin in that way. Anquan Boldin looked like he was a superior athlete, but he didn't have speed that would blow you away. He was a ball winner, crisp route runner. Keenan Allen's very good that way. Can I guess the A's?
I want to guess the A's. By the way, Keenan Allen is 2 years removed from a season in which he played 13 of the 17 games. He had 1,250 yards. I mean,
but Greg Cody is saying he doesn't regard Keenan Allen this way anymore, and there are no announcements on this stuff. Okay, so when I'm talking to you earlier this week,
Dan, there usually is. They usually sign with the Tennessee Titans, and then it's done.
That's the announcement.
Even the 2 that you just referenced, that they did that same thing. It's where Randy Moss did this. You go to the Titans as a wide receiver, Andre Johnson, you're dead. That's it.
But we're at that stage of the career on Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen because I didn't think we were.
Amari Cooper certainly fell off, and I thought that would be because he's a lot like Anquan Boldin, and Keenan Allen never really relied so much on his physical traits, was a ball winner, but he wasn't good for Buffalo. I kept thinking that he was going to have a moment for them. He wasn't. Ironically enough, I think they should take a look at Keenan Allen. Ooh, is Buffalo an A?
Buffalo is not one of the A's.
Really?
How about Chicago?
We will take the
Chicago
guesses
has to be
on
an A.
the A's.
Yeah.
You include the head coaching hire too, right?
Chicago has to be an A.
Bears
If
were not
Chicago
an A.
is not
The
an
Bears
A,
weren't an
The
A?
Bears are not an A.
Who wrote this?
I told you already. Seth Walden.
Tennessee.
Denver?
Tennessee is not an A.
They have Cam Ward. What are you talking about?
The Patriots.
The Patriots are not an A. Let me
What?
stop you guys for a second before this more wild outbreak of guessing breaks out. I just want to play for you the only interview we ever had with Amari Cooper. It got us in trouble at ESPN. We were happy to take it from ESPN. He had just graduated from Alabama. This was the entirety of the interview.
What do you imagine you'd be doing in the NFL right now?
Just dominating.
He was right.
That was the whole interview.
Yep.
Wow. Concise.
He
Good
did
job.
well.
Yes.
He had a good career.
Well spoken.
Yep.
We got in trouble for that, did we not?
Why?
Kind of like Alabama had an issue with it.
The Bucks got an A.
Ooh.
The Bucks
did not
get an A.
Oh, my God.
You may not have heard Broncos?
I did not hear you, but the Broncos did get an A.
Yeah.
Finally.
That is one. But, Billy, you memorized Seth Walden's list of report card A's? Because this is right in your alley, and I would imagine Dookie would have his own list of off-season A's.
Not for this week, no. We do that later on. You're putting it out this early. It's
Right.
just,
There's still time.
It's just fluff. Every team's not complete yet. There's still the free agents out there, And A's, A minus. Do we count an A minus as an A? I mean, some people are asking.
I used to.
How many minuses were there? I didn't memorize it.
There was an A and 3 A minuses.
The Broncos got the only A?
No, they got an A minus.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Who got the only A?
The only A? It's a great question. It went to the Rams.
Wow. Interesting.
They did make some moves this offseason where I'm like, I like that.
Good analysis, Chris. Excellent work. That's how you do it. That's how you play the game. You just raise a finger and are like, do I like that?
I like
A.
that.
I give it an A. That's how they all do it. That's how all the personnel evaluators do it. That's how everybody does it. I like that, and then just point at it.
Whenever growing up, if I ever got a B+, that was an A.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, B+ is an A.
Guys,
Did
It's the
you
same
ever
as an
get
A.
a B plus?
I think so. A couple.
the NFC West looks to be loaded. They've got 3 of their 4 teams in this division logging A minuses. This is pretty crazy.
Right. Wow, you're taking the Niners seriously?
The NFC, the Cardinals got A minus.
49ers, Cardinals, Rams all got A's.
But is it because they started from a bad place and now they've improved?
I'm not sure. But we mentioned the Broncos, and the Broncos are a key cog in what has been happening across cable sports networks for the last couple of weeks, and I love it. It's very lazy because Patrick Mahomes is the cheat code. He's always going to be in the conversation. As long as he's at a high level, they're always going to be there. We want to eliminate the Chiefs from the conversation so badly because there appears to be Chiefs fatigue. Maybe Taylor Swift has something to do with that. But now the conversation is, are the Chiefs done dominating their own division?
Dominating.
And that is a conversation that I was like, man, this is so phony. Who's talking about that? And then you take a look at the Broncos. Take a look at the Chargers.
Take a look.
I'm like, Raiders, reason to be excited. And they got a new quarterback over there, Geno, scrappy. They're gonna be.
You went too far with the Raiders.
No. The Raiders.
I was with you for a second.
Have the Chargers retooled, though? Like, who do they have on offense?
May I remind you, the Raiders are always the team that somehow upsets the Chiefs and has us thinking, wow, they actually might be done this year. They do this.
They've done it.
Don't remove them.
Are the Raiders for real?
They're always going to be hanging around that conversation, Dan. I like this division, and I think it's time to entertain. Are the Chiefs done dominating the AFC West?
That seems like a different
My
wrapping
man.
for
No, I
are
like
the
that.
Raiders for real?
Yeah, Bo Nix.
Okay, excellent.
That's true. That
analysis.
is a quarterback.
Excellent.
NBT.
Yes.
NBT.
Look, the
Sean
Codys,
Payton.
the Codys have really brought the analysis this segment, and I believe this is us getting ready for football. They got some guys. Bo Nix.
NBT.
I like that move.
It can happen with rookie quarterbacks, but we had 2 examples in the NFL of starting quarterbacks that we thought we were sure about the limitations in their game. And Bo Nix and Bryce Young, towards the middle part of the season, they started adding to their games and totally made believers out of a lot of skeptics.
J.K. Dobbins.
21 out of the 32 teams are B minus or better on Seth Walden's list.
Wow.
Easy grader.
Who's a
That's
bad
a
one?
lot.
Who's
21
bad?
out of 30.
And the Dolphins, keep in mind, they did change their culture. That's got to count for something.
Yeah, it's in the B range.
It's fixed.
Yeah. B minus.
I think I made the mistake of calling him Seth Walden
You did, 3
instead
times.
of Seth Walder. My profound apologies to
The Walders out there.
all
He'd
of
rather
the
be Walden.
Seths, all of the Seths for misrepresenting the only 4 A's given. That's a tough grader, and
Yeah, but everyone else got a B basically.
Yeah, easy.
Right.
I enjoyed
Hand
though,
out a D. I mean,
Greg-
That's what I'm. Only one on the list. No Fs. Take a guess who the D is.
no Fs. Jeez.
Wow.
The Jets.
No. The Saints.
Oh.
Yeah.
Greg Cody, you looked at your son and you said, "Did you get a B plus? Why is it that the Cody kids didn't care enough about their grades? Is it because their father wasn't stern enough?"
Could be. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, the wife and I have talked about that.
I had a good, solid, 3.0, a little below 3.0. I was fine in school.
Little
I was
2.8,
I was an honor roll student, but I did my thing.
But he just asked you. He just
I got
asked
plenty
you,
of B pluses. All right, that was the peak. That was I got a B plus in geometry.
Yeah, he got some B's. There's no doubt. He did okay until he got to college. What?
What happened there?
No, that's true. College took like 9 years. Dan, I have a song here. Jeremy, yesterday we celebrated Mr. Met falling at a Lumineers concert. Jeremy got in the lab. You want to hear it?
Not particularly.
Slab lab?
But
change the subject.
He did try and change the subject because you just mouthed long story when he said college took 9 years.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and play it since I'm not going to get any commentary from Greg Cody. He's just going to pantomime and mouth things when I need his audio help to produce an audio product.
I'm doing that for laughs.
Oh, fuck off.
I've been trying to keep it light. I don't want to lose my wife, 'cause all these other men are trying to sleep with Mrs. Med. Sleep with Mrs. Med. On the stage she looks at me so dang impressively, till I fall right off the side. Didn't know it's 6 feet wide. Now I'm screaming my life. Now the Lumineers are wiping all my tears with their suspenders. Now the Lumineers are wiping all my tears with their
Good job, Jeremy.
Surprising thing in the world that Jeremy's a big Lumineers guy.
Yeah, I mean, come on, look at me.
I felt for Jeremy before the show, and I know he's told this story on air, but I don't think all of you have heard it. And it is charming, and it is endearingly innocent, and a bygone time for most of you when it comes to how it is you feel about your sports. But Jeremy came in here today with his spring in his step, and among the stories that he told was, again, saying that the first time he told his wife, I love you, his now wife, I love you, she thought he was speaking to LeBron James.
That's right. Yeah.
At the time, she was, yes, it was,
Heat Pacers. Heat Pacers, the last year that the Heat were making a run, ultimately lost in the finals, really devastating. Not great for our love life. But we had been dating a few months, and I was scrolling through Twitter after a big win, obviously in a great mood, and we're sitting in my dorm room, and my wife said something really funny that just sort of disarmed me, and I hadn't said I love you yet, but I knew I loved her, and I just, because I was so caught up in the moment, looking at my phone and LeBron and all these things, and I had just been talking about it, she literally responded, are you talking about me or LeBron?
Beautiful.
The answer was her. Wow. And it's 12 years later, and we're happily married.
How about that? Congrats.
How'd she respond? I mean,
I love you too.
Really?
And surprisingly, given the circumstances.
Well, at that point, you got to say it, right? You got to say it back.
You do kind of just got
There's pressure. Yeah.
Well, it could have been a moment to go, you know what? It's only been a few months. Let me cut loose.
I think you just say it, and then you think about how am I going to get out of this.
Stugotz, do you have any stories from Tahoe that are worth retelling? I enjoyed your coverage on Stupidity. People could check out everything that Stugotz did last week in Tahoe. Was there anything left unsaid or uncovered from your week out there? It looked like a lot of fun.
We had a blast out there. Aaron Rodgers, Dan, and I am basing this just off of me watching him on a driving range, and it was Aaron Rodgers. It was not Jake Owen.
You sure?
I am positive, yes, although they're still making fun of me in Tahoe for that. I am convinced seeing Aaron Rodgers on the driving range for about 25 to 30 minutes that the Steelers are going to win a Super Bowl. I mean, I am serious. This guy is in such good shape. He is taking this season so seriously.
I feel like this is the exact same setup for last year when it was Jake Owen.
The same.
The last couple of years, I'm telling you, he's out in Tahoe. He's partying. This was a business trip. This was, hey, there's a golf tournament to play. I'm going to play in it. I'm going to play well, and then I have to get off to training camp.
So you have him playing well in the golf tournament as being focused for football.
I have him not drinking as many beers this year as he did the last couple of years and being in much better shape this year than he was the last couple of years, and just seeing him move around. A second year, okay? Now he's 2 years removed from tearing his Achilles. And so I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a monster season. I think in an AFC where the Chiefs are going to be down, to Mike's point, I think the Steelers have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl.
This implies that at one point you saw him indulging in Tahoe.
I never saw him do that.
Why would you do that? And
he didn't look as good. That's all I'm saying.
No, physically,
I don't know if
bigger than
that's because he was the Jets quarterback and just I walked in there and he didn't look as good. But now as the Steelers quarterback, He looks fantastic.
Stugotz, he didn't look good.
And man, can he drive a ball?
Yeah, but he didn't look good because you were talking to Jake Owen.
That's a good point. Yeah,
He looked thin.
he looked battered.
I'm battered by merely country music, as opposed to battered by
Jake Owen
football.
He looks.
I
got
need,
game, Jake Owen.
I
man.
need
In more
to
ways than one.
Stop all of you here because
Aaron looks good, Dan. That's all I'm saying. All right, healthy and good and motivated.
I just have to stop all of us because DraftKings has invested in this thing as it approaches football. And the analysis is Chris Cody raising a finger saying Denver got some guys, his father saying Bo Nix, and then you saying Aaron Rodgers is going to win the Super Bowl. I saw him golfing.
Yeah. Well,
Let me add to that.
look good.
Ladd McConkey's got a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, a legit shot
Agreed.
to be the GOAT wide receiver. Wow. Yeah, he's got a shot. People don't know this. You know what Ladd
McConkey?
Okay.
You know what Ladd McConkey?
What?
He needs a nickname in a real bad way. Just like Cooper Flag. Wait,
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, stumbling.
slightly delayed. You know what he ran at the combine? Because people think that he's like he'll find the gaps in the zone because he's a white wide receiver. Ran a 4.39.
Wow.
Not bad.
Call him the fancy lad.
You have to get out of here just because that was an unfortunate place to make that mistake. Understandable.
Happens.
Yeah, it does. It happens. You just have to go. You have to eat it.
McConkey.
Yeah, I'm
Could have been
sorry.
worse.
It's not really a lot of ways it could have been worse, but there
Could
are
have
a
been
few.
some body parts.
Yeah, there could have been not a lot of ways that it would have been worse. So that's something that you have to be careful with. Billy, I know you talked about this Friday, but I have some follow-up questions because I was delighted to hear, and I don't know, there are details missing for me that I want to gather from you. But the decision at 11 a.m. on a weekday to stroll into a weekday matinee movie theater felt to me like a decision one makes when the bathroom is no longer good enough to hide it from the kids with your iPad. That you needed 90 minutes to yourself, but I didn't know who you went with or what the details were. I just assumed if you're going to a movie publicly at 11 a.m. that you would be doing so by yourself.
No, I went with my wife. A little date. Yeah, check out Mission Impossible.
A date.
Yeah.
11 a.m.
I don't make the movie times.
But
was
the
the movie
theater
over at
Sad time
4?
for a theater.
Was
for
the
sure.
theater empty? There was
Yeah, we were the only two there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
He revealed something else they did. But we won't
Baby.
repeat that.
Well, they had the theater to themselves.
Watch the movie.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah. It's a good one. Have you seen it yet?
I have not.
You should go. I recommend seeing it in the day no one's there.
You
Especially 8 weeks after it's come out.
would you have Mike Ryan's great endorsement of it being the greatest of all of the action franchises ever made?
No, come on. Fast franchise. Stupid questions.
Okay.
Dad, have you ever found yourself on a date in an empty theater?
Never been in an empty theater.
Really?
No.
Why not?
Once. Why not? I mean, because other patrons are in there.
Can't control it.
It's a
I
good
mean,
answer.
you can't.
It's a
right.
great answer. A great answer by Greg Cody and an accurate answer. Why was the theater not empty? Well, because there were people there.
Yeah.
Would you not want to see one alone? I remember, this isn't the first time it's happened to me. One time I saw The Adventures of Pluto Nash. That theater was empty. But that was like the second week that it came out. But that was just a very historically bad movie.
An empty theater is fine. I hate it when there's like one other duo. And it's just like, I'm up here and then like another... It happened to me and my daughter and another father and a little kid at the, what's the Jack Black movie? The chicken, lava.
Minecraft?
It was Minecraft.
Yeah,
And it was just, it's just like awkward. It's just like, what?
How did Dan know that?
It was a
Dan
popular
know?
movie. It was popular. But yeah, it was just
amazing.
I don't like when there's one other group in there because then you're the whole time you're like, are they here? Are they laughing? I don't know. I just either filled or completely empty, not one other duo.
Greg, you might find this. It was instinct for me. I hadn't been to a movie theater in 4 years. It was the first time I went. Post COVID. I went one time for Adnan's movie podcast, Cinephile, which now is a book, by the way, that you can get. So I went on one time because I was reviewing a movie for Adnan. I thought we were all going to watch the movie and review it. It turns out I was tasked with going to watch this movie on behalf of Chris, Cody, and Adnan because they did not watch the movie, and I came on and told them about the movie. So I was confused as a concept.
Was it Fast and the Furious? I forget.
It was the last Fast and Furious movie. Nevertheless, when I went to this movie and it was just me and my wife, just out of instinct, because again, I haven't been to the movie theaters in a long time. She started talking to me in the middle of the movie, and I was shh, shh.
Yeah.
And she was like, "There's no one else here," and I was like,
"But there's a movie on."
Etiquette.
Right.
Yeah.
Movie
Like
etiquette.
You still got to whisper.
Yeah.
I need complete silence in a theater. That's why I stopped going to movies.
Is that
'Cause I don't like any. Everybody gets mad at somebody
Pull back.
shouting what's
Keep
about
going.
to happen or laughing too loud. I don't like any sound. Okay, even if there's something hilarious said, I want a low murmuring laugh. I just don't like loud noises at all. And if I'm in the fourth
You
row,
don't think a comedy experience with other people who are finding it just as funny or you is a better shared experience and sort of the point?
Yeah, but the next line is right around the corner. I mean, everyone's
Right.
laughing, and you miss the next line.
Yeah, and there's no replays in a theater. If you miss a line, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
I do like the constructs of a movie theater that kind of force me to keep my phone in my pocket. I won't.
Nicole Kidman telling you beforehand to do so.
Like this is right.
Always
I've
works,
committed to watch this movie start to finish, and if I'm in my living room, I don't care how good the movie is, I'm gonna check the phone occasionally. So I do like that. I kind of force the issue with the movie theater.
That is Goosebumps, Nicole Kidman.
Oh, it is. I dig it.
I liked Tom Cruise coming on before
Thanking you.
telling me, "Thank you for coming to the movies and
nice
experiencing it the way that we intended it to be." I was like, "Whoa, Tom!"
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Did he just say
thank
Billy?
you.
He said that. How weird. How did he know I was
What
here?
a nice touch.
Yeah.
There is something remarkably quaint about the idea of Scorsese or old action stars like Tom Cruise coming from on their perch of what used to be movies and what movies used to mean to thank you for keeping film alive, as opposed to those dirty streamers that are just allowing it to be on a small screen in your bedroom comforts, away from the noise and people as you get more and more disconnected, convenient, and lonely.
Wait, Scorsese does that too?
Scorsese has
I don't like
opined
that.
about film being more important than just
Nah,
streaming.
see, that's different. That's
Right.
that's
It's the same
come on,
thing.
Just
I know.
thank me.
Yeah,
That's it. Right.
exactly.
Right.
Tom nails it.
Yeah.
Does he mean it? Absolutely not. But he says it. Scorsese coming out and saying, "My films are art. They're better than streaming." Shut up, buddy.
Enough.
Thank you for spending $75 on 2 drinks, a popcorn, and candy.
Oh, we had a gift card. I was shocked that it wasn't expired. Movie gift cards, we get those still. Like as a couple's gift, they still give you that. Like, oh, here for a date night. It's
Who's
like,
they?
we're
Like people
married.
in your life?
Yeah.
I actually found concession stand prices to be reasonable now by comparison. Because before, they were always super inflated, but I guess inflation has kind of caught up to movie theater concession prices, so it's not that shocking anymore. But I think one of the things that people are going to gravitate to, and it seems to be the case already with the superhero movie, is we're back in a moment in time where people need Ted Lassos of the world. And one of the things that Superman apparently does is, wow, the central characters got so much empathy. This is such a positive message, and people wanted to go to the movies to feel good, and people seem to be responding to that. So maybe we're going to start seeing more positive movies like that.
Just need less options at the concession stand. I don't need a corn nuggets combo. Yeah. You know, I don't need. Yeah, corn. They do have the one.
You don't
I was
have to
at, they
order
have
it.
corn
I
dogs,
mean-
and they had the little corn
Right.
nuggets.
The corn dog nugget.
They have a pickle. They're selling a pickle at the movie
I
theater.
like that.
Yeah,
It's
how
too much.
How much? Yeah, that's interesting.
AMC.
Pickle smell.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Good point.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do pickles smell? The last time the Dolphins won a playoff game, movie tickets were $5. It was $5 for a movie ticket. Do you guys think? Are you guys of the belief that at some point, somewhere, a studio executive is watching streaming services, and streaming services allow you to rent a movie that's in the theaters for $19.99 or $24 to buy the movie outright? And do you think that studio executives, old-timey studio executives, saw that, did quick math, and said, oh my God, people are going to realize and do the math that they don't have to go to the theater. They can just give me the $20 now and watch the movie, and that's going to destroy movies unless Tom Cruise comes and rescues them with Maverick, Top Gun, Mission
thanks me.
Impossible, and thanking you for coming to the movie.
Yeah.
I have a hard time saying I'm going to spend $19 to rent a movie, even though I'm going to spend $100 to go see it in theaters.
Right. It
Like,
feels better when you're spending it at the theater.
Yeah,
Yes,
at home
right,
to
yes.
sit down and
Right.
have you kind of like
doubt.
shake me down for $20 to watch a movie. It ain't happening, bub. I'll wait 3 weeks and it's going to be free somewhere.
Who's Bub?
person who's not shaking me down.
Yeah.
I'll say that right now.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Tell me I only have 48 hours to watch a movie. Enough.
I wanted to get what you guys thought about Brad Stevens' allergy to the word that the Celtics are quote unquote rebuilding. He does not want it seen as rebuilding. He does not think it's rebuilding. How can it be anything other than rebuilding? What would it be other than rebuilding?
Retooling.
Waiting.
Whale hunting.
Starting over.
No, they're not starting over.
They're not starting
they have
over.
their two core guys.
Right. They're waiting for one to get healthy.
They've won a championship with those two core guys.
Right.
They'll be all right. Yeah. And they got Derek White, who's awesome.
Okay, but they'll be all right. And a voice. We were talking about Brad Stevens as architect. We can acknowledge now, given that he's won a championship, would we agree that Brad Stevens, one of the hotshot young coaches ever to be, is a better executive than he was as a coach? Yes or no?
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, he won it. Dan, I think I remember you saying something several years ago that if Pat Riley was ever to retire, and this was years ago, that Brad Stevens was a name on the Arison family radar as someone that they really valued.
Yes.
Dating back to the Butler days.
Yes, and everyone did and does, but he's objecting. In that town, right, when you win in that town, it's a different thing. You've seen that the Boston sports ecosystem can feed a whole lot of things because the passion in that town for winning things is outsized. Boston cares about sports in a way that is regionally identity larger than most places. I don't know how you would measure these things. What do you think if we did polling across the country and said square foot sports passion, where will you find most of it historically passed down? Boston's going to be at the top of all of those charts.
Yeah, Boston, Philadelphia, New York, certainly.
So in the history of that city, there's been Theo Epstein as architect, one of the great architects ever, and there's been Brad Stevens, who came after Danny Ainge and Doc Rivers and a whole lot of people who weren't as smart as he was about, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do an actual hard thing in Boston. I'm going to take away heart and soul of a team. Marcus Smart, popular, green hair, and I'm going to give my young guys a chance by getting Drew Holiday, Porzingis, and everyone salutes me as I figured out how to build a thing and make it better than everyone else's. And now it needs to be rebuilt, at least in part, because the star player is hurt.
Retool.
They need to hit pause is what they need to do, because it doesn't matter if those guys are there next year or not. They're not going to win it without Jason Tatum, and I think he knows that. And so you get rid of Porzingis, get rid of Drew Holiday, and you wait patiently until Tatum gets healthy, and you go at it again in a couple of years.
Epstein is about as strong a hand as you can go up to opposition.
No doubt.
But it's Bill Belichick in terms of architect. Right,
forgive me. I was doing hot young thing more than yes. You're right, of course. But I was doing in that town. Theo Epstein was in his early 30s when he was alleged to know other things that most people don't. He's done that in two places. Like there will be very few resumes like that ever. Chicago and Boston that didn't have any kind of winning. He won there.
I mean, I have seen the president even associate hot young thing with Epstein before.
Did you just zip up your mustache?
Yes.
Old school move.
He did. Yeah.
Did you
throw away like the key?
Did you just?
He did throw away a key. I confirm it.
Zip up
What are you,
your
House
mustache.
Republican?
I missed our dead fish in here in the heated summer of South Florida with no air conditioning.
We need fans in here.
Yeah.
I didn't think that the Epstein list was the thing that was going to break everything.
Right? Of all the things. It's pretty shocking.
I did not think that would be the lie that would make all the other lies appear like lies. And I don't know how to segue as clumsily from that as I am into Stephen A. Smith somehow saying that he doesn't care about Epstein when we're talking about what seems like a cover-up of the most horrific of child crimes.
That kind of sucks, right? Stephen A? His opinions constantly siding with power and money over empathy or human decency just so he can get a bag?
I was surprised. That one I was surprised by. Not caring about Epstein was surprising.
They got Simons.
Yeah, it was a nice little move.
Portland?
The Broncos got the only A.
In the AFC West. Yeah, only 8. That's the highest grade?
Yeah.
Why didn't the Bears?
A-.
No way
Why
pluses.
didn't the Bears?
They were in the
Look at that.
B's, but so was everyone else.
They addressed the offensive line. They brought in the coach everybody wanted.
Yeah.
You'll have to take it up with Seth Walden.
Walder.
Also, just a quick correction. David Sampson said there are no walls in Major League Baseball that are 5 feet
Billy.
tall.
Yep.
Fenway Park is a 3-foot-tall wall, very famously.
Yep.
And the wall in question was 6 feet.
It's a wall he could climb.
Stugotz has been wanting to get that joke off at David Sampson's expense. Do you know how infrequently
A wall at eyes.
Stugotz gets to make short jokes at someone else's expense?
He's the only person shorter than me.
It is a 3-foot wall in Boston that we had forgotten about. There was the other day a 301-foot home run hit in Major League Baseball, which is more of a crime against baseball than what Greg Cody's been lamenting this week.
I love how much time we spent on the Devers trade, and the Red Sox have won 10 straight.
Love it.
Since I visited the Oval Office.
Walder handed out 7 B pluses.
Wow.
Make up your mind, Walder.
Could have found some A minuses in there.
Right. An A plus somewhere. Huh?
What do you mean, make up your mind, Walder?
I mean, when you give too many B pluses, it's like you're pulling them out of a hat.
If you have 7, do you really have any?
Yeah, exactly.
Mix it up.
You know, give me an A minus, give me a D plus,
Awarding
a
mediocrity.
D minus. I like a D minus. That's my favorite grade.
Yeah.
because you didn't have the balls to give an F.
Ravens, B plus.
I think I got a transition out of the.
Raggedy bitch.
Now you think's a good time for one?
Well, I finally made it through. I'm not comfortable with saying how I procured a copy of it, but I saw the entire 8 hours of the Black Sabbath Ozzy Osbourne tribute show. Had I known it was going to be that, I would have flown over to Birmingham, England, and seen it. It's insane. Here's Guns N' Roses for 15 minutes. Here's Alice in Chains for 15 minutes. Here's Metallica for 20 minutes. Here's a supergroup, and guess what? Steven Tyler sounds incredible. It was beautiful. It was positive. It was uplifting. And one of the thing that I'll remember the most, outside of Mama, I'm Coming Home with Ozzy Osbourne being praised with love in what is his final act as an entertainer, probably. You know, we've talked about this, about how like Ricky Martin hit the stage at the Grammys, it did the Cup of Life, and everyone knew like that guy's got it. That is a moment in time. Youngblood, who's been around for a little bit, the performance of Changes that Youngblood did at this show. He just came out, one song, suited up, looked it's one of the greatest performances, and just in talking about it, I got goosebumps. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in front of a crowd. You have to search it out. I think YouTube's been blocking it a little bit, and maybe you can only find clips. But there is a hush that goes over Villa Park as if everyone recognizes in that moment what is happening. You did have the added element of beforehand, one of the guitarists said this song is going to be dedicated to Diogo Jota, who was a brilliant football player that played for Liverpool that died tragically alongside his brother in a car accident. So he was there in a Jota jersey, and that added to it. But the hush that went over the crowd was everyone at the same moment realizing, holy, Youngblood is going for it. It was a star-making performance.
Great performances by great performers who respect and are trying to memorialize other great performers competing against each other in order to do that, to honor somebody, to honor a legendary career in music, because all of those bands that are willing to play for 15 minutes and only 15 minutes are doing so out of respect more than anything else. But they didn't announce that any of those people were going to be a part of that. It was supposed to be a giant celebration.
Yeah, some people, but you don't know what to believe. You're like, okay, this is an insane lineup. They're only doing like pop-ins, right? No, they're doing proper sets, and I wish I knew more about it. I was never a big Sabbath and Ozzy guy. Now I am, obviously. That was an unbelievable show.
Greg Cody, you want to give us all your thoughts on Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath?
I have a great respect for Ozzy Osbourne, and I had.
This is the new and improved Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
Look, every crew's got roles. On a team, on a group text, at a watch party. You've got the stat nerd, the vibes guy, the one who thinks they're the coach, and then there's the real MVP, the person that brings the cooler. And what's in that cooler? If it's not Miller Lite, I'm checking the roster. It's the 50th anniversary of Miller Lite. 50 years of showing up in big moments. Post-game tailgates, NBA watch parties, road trips to road games where you swore the refs were out to get you. Through it all, that clean, crisp Miller Lite taste just gets it done. 96 calories, 3.2 carbs. It's light, but it doesn't tap out early. You're over there arguing over who the GOAT is, shouting about NIL deals, someone's grilling. Miller Lite is always there, playing its role to perfection. Brewed for taste, simple ingredients, a legend since 1975, and still a first ballot Hall of Famer in my cooler. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Cody, you were saying we interrupted you and you kept talking through the hard network out, and we couldn't hear
Great
any
respect
of,
for Ozzy.
any of what you said.
Yeah.
I still don't believe that Mike Ryan is right about this, even though he mocks me. I don't believe that rock can produce an Ozzy Osbourne anymore. We can produce pop stars, but an Ozzy Osbourne, that kind of thing, I don't know how it is that gets produced so that 50 years from now there's whatever would be today the equivalent of 50 people honoring Drake or whatever.
It's just really hard to shock people these days. Part of what made Ozzy such a cult of personality was how shocking he was, even by today's standards. But because there was an Ozzy Osbourne, it makes it really difficult for another one to exist. But Youngblood very clearly going for it. It felt like a pass the baton moment, even though he never interacted or interfaced with Ozzy Osbourne there. A lot like Ozzy in that he is a singular rock act that tours as a rock act. It's not too common these days. Handsome, English, got a lot going for himself, and the pipes to boot. That was, again, seek it out, incredible.
Yeah, I think the fact that Ozzy's had health issues added a poignancy to that whole event. And I want to say that Ozzy, you wouldn't think that they're would be close, but Ozzy and Elton John have been very close friends for a lot of years. They did a duet a couple of years ago called Ordinary Man, which is incredibly poignant because it's what you would imagine. It's about two old rock stars aging and talking about how they feared just leading ordinary lives and how neither one of them did that. It's a great song.
Something that happened also over the weekend that made me feel old was not just watching Ozzy there, but Jack White turned 50.
Yeah.
As part of turning 50, he got a cell phone for the first time, which I love Jack. I don't believe you.
He looked a little bit old when John C. Reilly was singing him happy birthday the other day at Tiger Stadium. I looked at Jack White and saw a rock star who also looked old, and I remain surprised to hear Mike.
John C. Reilly's looked old for a while. I mean,
that
aging.
Yes, it's a lot of forehead surface area on that one. But I do believe I'm not going to say that Jack White is the last of it, but I just think the way that music is made today doesn't really allow for someone to be that kind of different from, I'm not saying from rock music. I mean, we make plenty of musical stars, plenty of pop stars, make the stars differently than we ever do. But I just don't know how it is that you make something that existed like Jimi Hendrix from the 60s or 70s. And I'm not romanticizing or pining for a time that didn't exist. I just don't know the way that we're making music today and distributing it, the way that access is today. I don't know that an act can break controversially or even being great enough to be better than the computers and the auto-tune and all of the producers that are making all of this music a little more homogenized, where the AI can even have a hit album, that AI can create a musical hit because computers can now do that.
I think rock music goes through these delayed cycles. We got into it a little bit, but there was an interesting interview that I'm currently listening to with Zane Lowe, who I respect immensely. I think one of the greatest radio disc jockey personality types ever to do it. He interviewed Deftones at a famous diner in LA, and they're occupying this very interesting place in rock music right now because Deftones are bigger than they've ever been. They're playing sold-out arena shows. They just played the stadium over at Crystal Palace, and a lot of it is TikTok. And a lot of it is songs that were deeper cuts, that were not singles whatsoever, that kids on TikTok have found. When I went to the Deftones show a few months ago, it was all people around 40 and over, and then teenagers. It just missed an entire generation of 20 to 35-year-olds. It was crazy to see. But social media is going to have these moments in which people get really amplified, and it gets people curious. They do some digging, and they realize that a band like Deftones that's been around for 30 years has a huge catalog and deserved to finally have their moment.
Something I should have said earlier that I did not say. I didn't know whether people had seen that we had sold something to ESPN, that Adam McKay and his team have made a 30 for 30 podcast that's 6-part series, Chasing Basketball Heaven, on where it is that the three-pointer originated and where it is the game was revolutionized. So we were pretty proud. A small victory here for Metal Arc Media in being able to sell something with Adam McKay to ESPN. It debuts July 22nd.
80-20 my way?